Jai Hind. The topic which we are going to discuss today is normalization, which has been covered in Unit 3 of your course. So basically, first thing, what is normalization? Normalization, basically it presents a set of rules that tables and database must follow to be well structured. That is, it is later on we will see that normalization, in normalization we have certain rules through which we are making our table in such a way that any kind of update, insertion or anomaly, such anomalies, they don't happen in your system. So basically it involves restructuring the tables, that is we are having already built up the schema in our database, but what we are doing now, we are restructuring these tables to successfully meet the higher forms of normalization. And if we say that our database is properly normalized, then it should have following characteristics, that is scalar values in each fields, absence of the redundancy, your database is not redundant, minimal use of null values and minimal loss of the information. That is, we are restructuring in such a manner or that all these four properties, they need to be satisfied by any normalized database. We are having various levels of the normalization, and the level of normalization, it depends that how much redundancy we can afford in our database. So these are basic normalization forms: 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, then voice code normal form BCNF, 4NF, 5NF and domain key normal form. Generally most of the database, when we say that the database is a normalized, then generally they are in either 3NF or BCNF, but these are also being required by certain databases. And what's the main aim? Our main aim when we do the normalization is to avoid the database anomalies. Each higher level is a subset of the lower level. That is, this is my higher level and this is my lower level. And if I am saying that my database is normalized up to 3NF, then this imply automatically my data is satisfying the properties of 1NF and 2NF also. So the very first is 1NF. If we say the database is in 2NF, then this imply it is already satisfying 1NF also. Similarly, if I am saying that my database is satisfying DKNF, then automatically all these 5 levels, it has been satisfied by my database, normalized database. Let's start with the very first normal form, that is 1NF. So we say a table is in 1NF or the first normal form if and only if the domain of each attribute contains only atomic values. Clear? And the value of each attribute contains only a single value, that is multi-valued attributes are not allowed in 1NF form. So in other terms, we can say that every column of your table should only contain the single values. For example, this is a library example. We are having a table by the name library, and here we are having two attributes, patron ID and the borrowed books. So patron ID, basically your borrower. So here a person by the name ID C45, it has borrowed 3 books. So if you look at this is not an atomic value. So this particular table is not in 1NF form. So how can we do the bring the table into the 1NF form? This is one of the solution through which we can convert our table into a 1NF form. So what we have done nothing, that with this patron ID we have associated these values separately like this. So now my table is in 1NF form. But now this patron ID is not serving as a primary key. This is another example. We are having an airline application, and here in this particular table we are having first attribute flight and the weekdays. So if you look at the this particular flight number is operating on these dates. So again, this table is not in 1NF form. So how can we convert it into a 1NF form? That is U59, it is operating on 3 weekdays. So we are separating these values and storing them as separate rows. So watch for the entities that can have multiple values for the same attributes. For instance, phone numbers, etc., etc. So if you found such attributes, then always see whether they are having atomic values or not. Again, this is simple example, that is we are having a duration. So now the question comes whether it is an atomic value or a multi-valued attribute. So in this case, we can treat it as an atomic time slot because it is providing you the information related to the duration. Now before proceeding towards second normal form, we need to understand a concept that is functional dependency. Let X and Y be the set of attributes in a table T. That is, we are having a table T, and we have derived two sets in T. One is X and another one is Y. So Y is functionally dependent on X in T if and if for each set X belongings to R dot X, that is this particular. If I am saying my relation is R, then this becomes R dot X and this becomes R dot Y. Here we are having X and here we are having the value. Then each value X is precisely corresponding one corresponding set, that is here. It is corresponding to this. So we say that Y is functionally dependent on X, and how we show it? With the help of this symbol. Y is fully functional dependent on X in T if Y is functionally dependent on X and Y is not functional dependent on any proper subset of X. That is, if I am having two attributes here, let's suppose X1 and X2. Then in the fully functional dependent, all my attributes, they should be dependent on these two attributes jointly. We should not have any attribute in this particular domain where your Y is partially depending on X. That is, no such kind of dependency should exist. When we are having such kind of thing, that is X2 comma X1, Y is dependent totally on these two candidate keys, then we say it is a fully functional dependency. This is how we can see in our table. If one set of attributes in a table determine another set of attributes in the table, we are talking about the same table, our table is not changing, clear? Then the second set of attribute is said to be functionally dependent on the first set of attribute. For example, we are having this, we are having three attributes here, ISBN, title and price. So this is our schema where ISBN, it is acting as a key, and if I try to find out the dependencies in this particular schema, then the title is functionally dependent on ISBN. Similarly, price is also functionally dependent on ISBN number. Another example, we are having publication ID, publication name and the publication phone number. Here the dependencies, if I try to find out, then the publication phone number, it is dependent on the publication ID. Similarly, publication name is also dependent on publication ID, or we could say that similarly publication ID is dependent on publication name and publication phone number. In this example, we are having the schema. Here we are having 3 attributes, and according to this, author phone number is dependent on author ID and the author name is again dependent on author ID. This is another way how to derive the functional dependency. Sometimes in exams such kind of formats are also given, your question comes in this format also. So, the database to track the reviews of papers, for example, submitted to an academic conference. Then the prospective author submit the papers for review and possible acceptance in the published conference proceedings. So, here the details of the entities are the author information. It includes a unique author number, name, mailing address and unique email address, depending. Sometimes some conferences they demand. Paper information, what it includes? Primary author information, paper number, the title, abstract and the review status. That is whether it is in pending, accepted or rejected mode. Reviewer information, it includes in reviewer number, name, mailing address and a unique email address. And a completed review include review number, date on which it has been reviewed, the paper number, comments from the author, comments to the program chairperson and ratings. So, if I talk about the functional dependency on this particular scenario, then we found that author number, author email and the author address, they are dependent on author number. Similarly, author number, it is dependent on author email because both are unique. Then we are having the primary author number, title, abstract, status that depends upon the paper number. Your revision name, revision email, revision address, it depends upon the revision number, and again revision number, it depends upon the revision email. And from it we could say that author communication, program communication, date, rating 1, rating 2, rating 3, rating 4 and rating 5, they are functionally dependent on revision number and paper number. This is another example. Here we are having book number, title, author and here. So, the functional dependent on the pair book number, your author attribute. It is functionally dependent on book number and title, and it is fully functionally dependent on book number. Another table, why we are determining the functional dependencies, why we are working on it. So, let's suppose we are having a table borrowed books. So, here we are having book number, patron, address and the due date. Now, the address attribute, if I talk about only the address attribute, then it is functionally dependent on book number and the patron and fully functional dependent on patron. So, what are the problems? Cannot insert new patrons in the system until they have borrowed the books. Why? Because we are having a dependency that the address attribute, it is depending upon the patron attribute. So, we are having, and this is giving rise to the insertion anomaly. Similarly, we must update all the rows involving a given pattern. For example, you are doing an updation for a single pattern and that pattern is appearing at multiple locations in your table, then we need to update all those rows. So, it gives rise to a update anomaly. We might lose information about the patrons that have returned all the books they have borrowed, and this particular thing leads to anomaly, that is the deletion anomaly. So, after functional dependency, let's see what is 2NF, that is the second normal form. We say a table is in 2NF if and only if it is 1NF and no prime attribute is dependent on any proper subset of any candidate key of the table. And we are aware what is a non-prime attribute, what is a prime attribute, or what is a candidate key. So what is a non-prime attribute? It is an attribute that is not the part of the candidate key. And what is a candidate key? It is a minimal super key. So here in 2NF, what we are doing, we are dealing with non-key attributes. Here we are having a library which allow the patrons to request the books that are currently out. So we are having book number, patron, and the phone number attribute. So here the candidate key, if we talk about my candidate key, it is my book number and my patron. These two both, if I look at my table, then these two attributes, they are acting as a candidate key. So functional dependency, we look at the functional dependency, then it says phone number is dependent on patron. Phone number, it is dependent on patron and it is not dependent on book number. So we find out that the table is not in 2NF form. So it is, there may be the chances of insertion, updation and deletion anomalies in this case. Another example, we are having a schema, title, publication ID, author ID, price and author address. Here the keys are your title, publication ID and author ID. If I look at the non-prime attributes, that is price and author address, then price, it is dependent on my candidate key, full set of candidate key, whereas in this case, it is dependent only on author ID. So, author ID, it is a subset of a key. So, in this case, again, this schema is not in 2NF form. Similarly, this is another example. Here we are having the keys city, street and house number. Clear? Now, the house color, it depends on all these attributes which are the part of my candidate key. Whereas city population, it is dependent only on the city. It is not dependent on these two attributes. So, city population does not belong to any key in this case, and the city population is functionally, that is, it is a non-prime attribute and it is depending only on the city, which is a proper subset of my candidate key. So, again in this case, it is not in the 2NF form. Now, in this particular example, we are having the keys studio and movie. Budget is depending on these two, whereas studio city is only dependent on studio. Again, this is not in 2NF form. Now, the question comes how we find out the solution, that is how we bring our database into 2NF form. So, we are having a 2NF solution, that is decomposition. Here what we are doing, if a data item is fully functional dependent only on a part of a primary key, then move that data item, that is attribute, and that part of the primary key to a new table. That is, I need to break down my table into two parts, T11 and T12. If other part items are functionally dependent on same part of the key, place them in the new table also. Make the partial primary key copied from the original table, the primary key to the new table, and place all the items that appear in the repeating group in the new table. So, here we are having this, we have seen this example earlier. So, this is my old schema. So, according to my new schema, what these 3 points are saying, that I need to break down. Here I will bring my this particular attribute. It is dependent on all these candidate keys. So, here we will reserve these attributes. So, here we are having schema 1, that is my table T11. In this case, earlier what we have seen, that the author address, it is only depending on author ID. So, we have moved this dependency to another table, that is T12. This is how you will go with the decomposition part. this is the example which is earlier being discussed. So how we are converting into the 2NF form? Earlier we have seen that the budget is depending on these two. So in this case, this is my schema 1, and Studio City, it is depending only on my key, that is my studio. So this is another schema. We have decomposed our original schema into two schemas, and this is how we are converting these. House color depending on my candidate key, whereas in the case of my city population, it is depending only a subset of my candidate key, that is on city. So we have shifted these attributes to another table. That is what we have done, that is patron, and since the phone number is dependent only on the patron, so we have moved, because here it is acting as a key for my phone number. Our table is in 3NF. Now we are moving towards the third NF form. The first thing, it should be in 2NF, clear? That is, first you check with the 1NF, then you go with the 2NF, and then you will go with the 3NF part. All its attributes are determined only by its candidate keys and not by non-prime attributes. That is, there should not be dependency among the non-prime attribute. There should be the dependency between the non-prime attribute and the candidate keys. This form dictates that all the non-key attributes of a table must be functionally dependent on a candidate key. That is, there cannot be any interdependencies among non-key attributes. So, for a table to be in 3NF, the table should be in 2NF, and the no attribute is transitively dependent on the primary key. So, if we look at this example, here we are having title, publication ID, page count and price, and this is my key. My page count, it is dependent on this, clear? And here price, it is dependent on the page count. That is, we are deciding, that is how depending upon my page numbers, depending upon my page number, the price is being determined. So here price is dependent on page count. Now what is happening? Price is a non-key attribute, whereas page count also is a non-key attribute. So due to this particular dependency, it is being shown that it is not in the 3NF form. And there is a transitivity. That is we are having, what is transitivity? If x, y is dependent on x, and there is a functional dependency such that, y is dependent on x, and we are having this, that is z is dependent on y. So due to this, we are having this particular dependency, that is z is dependent on x. We can derive this from this, and this is my transitivity. So if I look at this, there is a transitivity, that is my price is dependent on title and publication ID, therefore it is not in 3NF form. Similarly, in this example, we are having studio primary key, studio city, it is dependent on studio, city temperature, it is dependent on studio city, as well as city temperature is also dependent on studio. So both studio city and city temp, they depends on the entire key, hence it is in 2NF, but the city temperature transitively depends on studio, hence it's violate the 3NF form. There's another example, we are having the building ID, contractor and fees. Primary key in this case is building ID, contractor depending on building ID, we are having this functional dependency and this functional dependency. Here the fee transitively depends on building ID, therefore it is not in 3NF form, whereas it is in the 2NF form. Another example, here we are having tournament, year, winner and date of birth. Here the candidate key is tournament and year, and the date of birth, there is a functional dependency between winner and DOB. So again we are having that this particular table is not in 3NF form. This is another example. Here we are having the dependency between patron and address, and the key is my book number, and due to this this particular dependency, my table is not in 3NF form. How we make our table into our database into 3NF form? We go for the 3NF decomposition. How we do this? Move all the items involved in transitive dependencies to a new entity. Identify a primary key for the new entity, that is table. Place the primary key for the new entity as a foreign key on the original table. That is, we are having a old schema. And how we are converting it to the 3NF form? In this case, we are having in the new schema, we are having publication ID, page count and price. And in the new, this is another, that is title, publication ID and page count. What we have seen earlier. In this case, where is the problem? That is the page count. It is dependent on title and publication ID. Whereas price is dependent on page count. So we are having a transitivity. So what we have done in this case, we are having in the new schema, what we have done, we are having the publication ID, page count and price. And here the page count is dependent on the title and publication ID. So we have retained this schema. Similarly, this is how we have converted the second example. We have decomposed it into this. Similarly, when we decomposed our old schema into these two schemas, our table would be converted into 3NF form. This is another example which we have seen earlier. So here we have make the separate table. So this is all about normalization. So here we have discussed 1NF, 2NF and 3NF. Later on we will discuss the higher normalization forms in the next lecture. These are the references which I refer to prepare my slides. Thank you and Jai Hind.